Have you ever wondered how the universe got started? Could something as complex as life just happen by chance? Is there any scientific evidence that points to a creator? In today's episode of Be the 25, we're going to dive into all of this. So stick around, because this episode is packed with mind-blowing facts, real science, and examples that show how belief in God really makes sense. It all starts in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Be the 25 podcast, the place where teens and young adults come to explore how to live the Christian life in a non-Christian world. I'm your host, Dr. Sharon O'Hara. Come join us and get your faith ready for the journey ahead. Well, thank you for tuning in with us today. This is the award-winning podcast where we help teens and young adults keep growing and keep going in their faith journeys. Be sure to check out our blog and other resources at bethe25.com and hit that Ask Dr. Sharon button on the homepage to submit your faith-related questions there. Now, today we're going to examine whether or not there's evidence that justifies believing that God exists. Did you know that we can find credible evidence for God's existence without even opening our Bibles? That's right, without even opening our Bibles. So let's get right to it. For centuries, people, including scientists, thought the universe was at a standstill, static, not moving at all. They believed the earth was eternal, always has been here, and always will be here. But then everything changed. Astronomers discovered that our universe is actually expanding. Back in 1912, an astronomer named V.M. Slipher was studying distant objects in space using the Clark telescope at Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona. Using a special instrument called a spectrogram, Slipher discovered something surprising. Galaxies were moving away from us at incredible speeds. Galaxies are massive systems made up of billions of stars, along with planets, gas, dust, and everything held together by gravity. Our home, the Milky Way, is just one galaxy out of 2 trillion galaxies. Slipher discovered that the entire universe is spreading out. A few years later, astronomer Edwin Hubble confirmed this discovery using the powerful 100-inch Hooker telescope at Mount Wilson Observatory in California. Now, this was a shocking discovery. Think about it. If galaxies are moving away from us, that means the universe is not at a standstill at all. If you rewind everything backwards, everything would come closer and closer and closer together until you get to a single starting point where there was no time, no space, no matter, and no energy, which means the universe had a beginning. This discovery is what scientists call the Big Bang Theory. Scientists and astronomers found that there really was a Big Bang, an enormous explosion that started the universe. And scientists knew something very important. If the Big Bang really happened, there should be evidence left over from that explosion. Because every explosion produces heat, and an explosion powerful enough to create the entire universe should have left detectable heat behind. And that evidence was actually discovered by accident in 1964. 2 scientists, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, working at Bell Labs in Holmdel, New Jersey, were using a large antenna to map signal from our galaxy, the Milky Way. While they were working, they kept detecting a strange background signal on their antenna. It didn't matter where they pointed the antenna. The steady, low-level noise was coming from every direction. At first, they thought something was wrong with their equipment, but checked it and couldn't find anything wrong. Then they thought it might be the pigeons that were landing on their antenna. So they trapped the pigeons and removed all the pigeon poop from the antenna. But the signal still wouldn't go away. That's when they realized they were detecting something extraordinary. They discovered what they were hearing was cosmic microwave background radiation, the leftover heat from the creation of the universe. They discovered that this radiation is evenly spread across the entire universe. That's exactly what scientists predicted if the Big Bang really happened. Pizaius and Wilson were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for this discovery. In 1989, NASA launched the COBE satellite to measure this radiation. It confirmed that the radiation was evenly distributed in every direction. The match between what scientists predicted and what COBE actually measured was incredibly precise. In fact, NASA said, quote, "Such a close match is rare in scientific research," unquote. Then, in 2003, NASA launched another satellite called WMAP. Its images were 35% sharper than the COBE satellite. And once again, the data confirmed the same thing. The universe really did have a beginning. Amazingly, NASA actually detected when the very first stars in the universe ignited. So science proves that the universe had a starting point. It hasn't always existed, as many people once thought. And that raises one of the most important questions anyone can ask. If the universe had a beginning, what or who caused it to begin? Think about it. Nothing just starts by itself. You have to turn a key or push a button to start a car. You have to press play or use voice command to get a song to play on your device. Something or someone had to cause the universe to come into being and begin. One of the basic laws of science states that anything that had a beginning was caused by something outside itself. So something or someone caused the universe to begin. The only reasonable explanation is that God caused the universe to begin because there's no other logical explanation that makes sense. And it's not that scientists or atheists haven't tried to explain it away. They have. But none of their theories have successfully provided solid evidence for something other than God. Take the multiverse theory, for example. This idea says that our universe is just one of many parallel universes, each formed randomly, where particles just happen to come together in the exact right way to support life. Now, imagine throwing millions of dice at the same time. The odds of rolling the exact combination you need are almost impossible. But if you throw the dice enough times, eventually you might get lucky. That's essentially what the multiverse theory claims. Our universe just got lucky. But here's the problem. There is no evidence that other parallel universes exist. And even if there were, multiverse itself would still have a beginning, which means we're right back to the same question. What or who started it? I think logically it makes more sense that it's a who instead of a what. A someone instead of a something. Who started the universe? Because starting a universe is a choice. Someone personally chose to start the universe, intentionally. And if you think about what it would actually take for someone to start a universe, they had to have supreme intelligence. They had to have supreme power. So it couldn't have been a what. It had to be a who. And the who had to exist before the universe started, before time, before space, before matter and energy came into being. And this is exactly where the cosmological argument for God's existence comes into play. Now, don't let the big name throw you off. The argument goes like this. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe had a beginning. Therefore, the universe has a causer. And based on everything we just talked about, that causer isn't a what, it's a who. Now let's jump into what the biblical worldview says. Genesis 1:1, the very first verse in the Bible says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." This verse tells us some incredible truths. First, the universe had a beginning. That phrase, "in the beginning," is the timestamp when time actually began. Even Stephen Hawking, one of the most well-known physicists and cosmologists, who was also an atheist, affirmed that time began when the universe came into being. He even wrote a book about it entitled A Brief History in Time. Using a scientific method, he could show when time actually started. And it happens to be when the Bible says it happened. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, when the universe was created. Now, second, the thing we see in this verse is that God existed before the universe began. In the beginning, God. The universe was caused by someone outside of itself. God existed before the heavens and earth were created. Colossians 1:17 tells us he existed before anything else. The third thing is this: God is identified as the who created it all. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This isn't just saying God was there. It's saying everything we see around us traces back to him. Psalm 121:2 calls God the maker of heaven and earth. And Colossians 1:16 tells us, "For everything was created by him, in heaven and on earth, the visible and the invisible, all things have been created through him and for him." Do you want to know why the universe is expanding? I think this is so cool. Isaiah 42 says, "God the Lord created the heavens and stretched them out." Job 9:8, he alone stretches out the heavens. Wow. The Bible described the universe as expanding long before scientists discovered it. Now think about this for a moment. Think about an explosion. An explosion scatters fragments outward. It usually creates chaos and damage, not order and life. Yet the explosion that brought the universe into being had precise order and life. The position of our galaxy and our Earth are precisely positioned. Our sun is exactly the right size and right temperature for life on Earth to survive. If we were any closer to the sun, we'd burn up. If we were farther away, we'd freeze to death. The moon is the right size and distance from us to keep our orbit stable. Jupiter is a huge planet, and it draws asteroids and comets away from hitting us. Did this just happen by chance, or was it intelligently designed? You can look all around and find complex designs everywhere. Every life form, plant, animal, or person is made up of cells, and there are details in each one of those cells. Each cell has DNA, which stores all the information necessary for the cell to function. It tells the cell what to do, what to make, and how to make it. Hair, muscles, nerves, bones, blood. Microsoft founder Bill Gates once said, "DNA is like a computer program, but far, far more advanced than any software ever created." Now, how did this DNA get into every cell in the first place? Did it just happen by mere coincidence, or was an intelligent designer behind it? Every design has a designer. You see a painting and you know a painter painted it. You see a building and you know a builder built it. Imagine opening up your phone and a fully edited TikTok video is sitting there. It's got clips, transitions, captions, music, everything. You wouldn't think, wow, this just randomly popped into being. No, you know someone created it. And this idea of intentional design doesn't stop with our solar system or DNA. It's even built into the behavior of living creatures like animal instinct. An instinct is a behavior that happens without having to learn it first. Animals appear to be initially equipped with some instinctive behavior. It's like they come with a pre-installed software program. Sea turtles know to crawl to the ocean right after they hatch. Bears know when to hibernate. Canadian geese know to migrate as the seasons change. Birds know to build a nest. Baby kangaroos know to climb into their mother's pouch right after they're born. Spiders know to spin a web. Beavers know to build a dam. Salmon know to return to the stream of their birth to spawn. Who taught them all that? Who programmed that behavior? Random chance or an intelligent creator? So, to wrap this all up, when we see the causer of the universe together with the incredible design we see all around us, it makes perfect sense to believe in God the Creator, someone who is supremely powerful, supremely intelligent, who existed before the universe began. This isn't blind faith, it's faith supported by evidence. Every star, every planet, every living thing points to a creator who started it all and designed it all, just as the Bible says. If you already believe in God, let this strengthen your faith. Let it remind you that what you believe isn't just something you've been told. It actually does make sense. Hebrews 11:1 says, faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. And if you're listening and you've never taken that next step of faith, take it. This isn't just about believing that God exists. It's about having a personal relationship with Him. Hebrews 11:6 says, anyone who wants to come to Him must believe that God exists and that He rewards those who sincerely seek Him. In other words, God is saying, believe that I'm real. Come after me. When you genuinely seek Him, when you really want to know Him, He responds. So take that next step toward Him. And if you want to go deeper into how science and the Bible actually work together, don't miss our next episode, because they really aren't at odds with one another like people think. They actually make sense together. Well, that's a wrap for today. Don't forget to visit BeThe25.com. Plenty of resources there to help you on your faith journey. You can also submit your faith-related questions there and win a Be the 25 t-shirt if your question is selected for an upcoming podcast episode. Stay tuned for more stories and discussions that encourage and equip. Have a great week, and remember, keep growing, keep going.